Is story really important in this kind of an art form?
Well, it's increasingly becoming more
Okay.
important. The problem is that today the main problem has been is that game companies, even though they've been encouraging with Machinima by releasing tools, they have not been as encouraging with the legal aspects. So what happens is that my friend Phil Rice,
Yes.
he directed a film called Male Restroom Etiquette. Which is,
Okay.
if you haven't seen it, it's absolutely phenomenal.
Okay.
It's a sort of a personal essay on exactly what the title is, etiquette in the male restroom.
Yes.
And what he did is he shot it in Sims 2,
Okay.
and it was hysterical, very, very funny. He got about, I think, 200,000 views on YouTube, and then he got a call, and it was from The Tonight Show.
Yeah.
And they said, we really love your film.
Yes.
We want you to come on and we want to show a piece of it. He said, great, you can do it. Oh, I better contact EA,
Yeah,
who owns Sims 2, to make sure that that's okay. Now, Phil's a pretty optimistic guy. He figured a couple phone calls, everything will be fine. No.
No.
So he called Tonight Show back, and he says, I can't get through to him. He says, well, the Tonight Show. Well, we'll get through. You wait. They couldn't even get through.
Oh, wow.
So eventually, they had to cancel the idea.
Oh, bummer.
So
Okay.
they weren't able to show it. So what's happened is that, with that example,
Yes.
is that game companies, for whatever reason or motive, have not been very good about creating a special license
Yeah.
for content, especially
Right.
Machinima.
Generated content.
Generated
Yes.
content, so that the people can use them in a so you can own your own work.
Right.
Just like any artist who wants to own their own work.
Right.
They haven't done that.
Exactly.
So what's happened is a whole new area of programming
Yes.
for Machinima-like film creation, animated film creation, has been created. Reallusion's iClone, which you can
Okay,
see a
yeah.
little bit
So
behind you,
we're seeing. Oh, that's perfect.
is one of the programs that is in the forefront of this kind of thing. The advantage is that it's still real time.
Yes.
So it's like being in a game engine environment. So you
Right.
can make films in that way.
Right.
And it's easy.
Yeah.
You can own it though, because it's like Adobe or Microsoft Word.
Yeah.
Whatever you create in there is yours.
Right.
You can own it. So
Okay.
there's no licensing issues involved
Oh, that's
at all.
a really cool point.
Isn't that great?
Yeah, that's
However, it's
exactly.
created a little bit of a schism
Yes.
in the Machinima community.
I could see that.
Because there's part of the fun of making movies in your own game that you admire
Yes.
is because of the backstory and the characters of that game
Right.
become part of your story that you want to tell.
Exactly.
It's a bit like fan fiction.
Exactly. I was just going to say it's exactly like that.
Exactly.
That you're
So-
writing in that universe, and,
That's right.
and you want to use those characters.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
So people become frustrated because now they can't do that.
Yeah.
They have to create their own stories.
Yeah.
Well, I sort of like that.
Okay.
I really
so,
like the idea
Yeah.
of being, coming
Yeah.
up with your own stuff. Because why can't you be influenced by Half-Life or Halo or The Witcher or any of the other great games that are Mass Effect just came out
Right.
recently.
It's like being influenced by a type of art.
Exactly.
I would exactly.
You go to a museum, you look at Goya, you look at Francis Bacon, you go, man, that's incredible. I want to make something that's like that. And then you start working that way. I love that.
Right.
And so I'm sort of with a kind of group. It's not a strong conflict. It's just a
Yeah.
it's just a diverging of the community towards
Exactly.
different interests.
That's neat.
And I'm part of the group that's sort of moving towards iClone,
Yes.
and a couple other companies that are making games, Movie Storms, Antics, and Zen 3D Cubed, which is a very interesting program by some startup New Zealand guys.
Okay.
And they're all filmmaking programs
Okay, that's perfect.
with varying degrees of complexity.
Right.
And what you do is that for a nominal fee, in some cases with Zen Cubed it's completely free. Now the basic iClone is free. And pretty much every other, pretty much
So
every other program is free, essentially.
You can get your feet wet and then
Yes.
see if this is for you.
And if you want to, then you can expand. You can learn how to, for example, you can go to the Google Warehouse. If you don't know about the Google Warehouse,
Yeah.
it's absolutely filled with models, 3D models.
Oh, perfect.
You type in Modrion's house. Suddenly a model comes up with Modrion's house
Right.
that some architectural student has made, and he's made it available for free. And so you go, hey, a documentary about Modrion's house would be kind of fun.
Yeah.
So you start researching about Modrion's house, and then you get that model. You put
Right. You put it in here?
You import it in
Okay.
this. You create this little figure, and it comes out and goes, hello, did you know that Modrion's house was blah, 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 blah.
Right.
You see what I mean? And pretty soon
Exactly.
you got this oddball kind of documentary,
Right.
and it's all free.
Right,
You know what I mean?
exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, that's beautiful. It really is filmmaking.
Yeah, it is. It really is filmmaking, and I think the more and more people discover the great pleasure of being able to express yourself using animation in ways that are simpler than the hugely complex teams that are put together to create Pixar and other Disney films. I mean, they're great films. I love them.
I agree.
Hayao Miyazaki is one of my favorite animators in the whole world.
I agree, yeah.
However, I don't have the time to do that.
Yes.
And I don't have the team or the money to do it.
Exactly.
But I can do something that I believe in and that I'm passionate about.
Right,
And that has the same attention to detail as his film.
exactly.
And that's the kind of stuff that I'm interested in promoting.